Hi, everybody. Tony G from MusicLegacyInternational.com. I'm here with a great guest, Dan Welsh. You may know Dan from several different things that he's done here on Long Island, New York. One of them, 89 North, the music venue, and Suffolk Recording Studios in Patchogue. Hi, Dan. Nice to have you with us.
Tony, great to be here.
I'm very excited to talk about where you've come from in your career, what you've done in the past, and what you're doing now. Tell us a little about where this whole thing started with you.
Well, in terms of music?
Sure, yeah. Anything that relates to all the great things that you've done.
Well, I've always been a music fan. I started playing guitar. Actually, I started when I was 12. I put it down, and I picked it back up again when I was 20, and started playing, taking lessons. I had a couple of good teachers. I was fortunate. Played in cover bands and so forth when I was in Colorado for some time, and then when I moved to Long Island in 82, 83, and played in cover bands and did stuff. But then I was always interested in songwriting, and I was writing songs. I was fortunate, a friend of mine who I was working with at the time in my day job, like all musicians, you have to have a day job. He was a recording fanatic, and he had built a little studio in his house, in his basement. So I was able to record some of my originals there. And I always had the idea that if I was ever in the financial position, I would build a studio, and a regular commercial studio in a commercial location, not in the house.
Right.
You know, the house is cheap because the overhead's low, but you know, at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can't be playing the drums. Everybody upstairs is.
And there's some people you just don't want in your house.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
And annoying neighbors and any other thing that might happen. So in 2005, I did find a good location in Patchogue. It was a commercial, industrial location. It used to be a warehouse, actually. We put up walls and soundproofing and the whole 9 yards. And I don't want to get too deep into that, but people who build studios know what you do and whatnot. The control room and whatnot. And we opened it up, and it was open for any project. It happened to be fortunate that it had a very big room. It had a big room with a 12-foot ceiling, so you could put a big band in there. And it also had good acoustics, so recording live in there sounded good with live instruments like saxophones or and vocals actually sounded really good. We had a vocal booth, but the vocals actually sounded really good in the live room too.
Those high ceilings make a great difference.
Yeah, right. So that was Suffolk Recording Studios right in downtown Patchogue Village, and we did all sorts of things. And original artists made CDs there, the EPs there, one song at a time. And I recorded my originals there, my first CD, and then after that I made an EP. And by that time, around 2008, to me, it didn't seem a whole lot of sense to make CDs anymore. Nobody was going to buy them anyway.
Right.
So I just adapted the philosophy. If I had a good song, let's record the song. Let's get some guys and girls in here. Let's flesh it out and whatnot. And I would just record one song at a time, and then I put it out through CD Baby. It shows up on the internet. It goes everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube, you make up a little video if you can and put it out there and whatnot. And then I put together a permanent band to go out and play the originals, which was Lonesome Dan and the Curmudgeons. And we played what I would call original music showcases, where you go to play where people actually want to hear original music.
Yeah.
Because if you show up in a bar where people are expecting to hear cover songs, they're not going to be happy. You know, they want to hear what they paid to hear. People who want to go out to see original music, you know, their ears are
It's a different mindset, yeah.
Totally. So we opened for some national acts, which was difficult to get those gigs, but you got to fight to get them. We played some festivals. That was all good. We were doing pretty, we didn't have major labels chasing us or anything, but people were seeing us and hearing us, and after the show, they were coming up and buying a CD from us and telling us they liked us, which, was good. you know, and we got a couple of bucks from some places also. You know, B.B. King's paid me when I opened up for Delbert McClin.
Nice.
You know, and then the pandemic came, and
Yeah.
you know,
That hurt so many people.
yeah, that was the end of that. I still go out and play my originals now, but I just do it by myself with the acoustic. And
Okay.
I go to open mics and things, but I play some festivals here and there where they book just a solo acoustic guy to do a short set of originals. And then while I had the studio, I was approached by a friend who had a building about 100 yards from the studio that used to be a moose lodge.
Right, right.
And it had been empty for about 15 years, and he owned it. And he knew that I knew music because we had done some other things together with his restaurant, background music and stuff. So he goes, take a look at this building I got. You think we can build a live music venue in here? You want to partner up on this? And it was a disaster inside. I mean, you know, there were pigeons in there and everything.
Wow.
You know, it hadn't been used in a long time, but it had good bones. So I said, yeah, I'm in. And we pulled in 2 other partners, and we rolled up our sleeves and went to work. And not to get too deep in the details, the banks wouldn't loan us money, so we did everything ourselves.
Yeah.
And it took us about 2 years. And in April of 2012, we opened 89 North Music Venue in Patchogue.
Yeah, it still is a great venue.
Yeah, yeah. We did a lot of great stuff. While building it, I had visions of doing more original acts, more touring acts. It's a 500-person capacity, so you kind of look at what kind of acts you can get in with that kind of number. Whereas, you know, like the Paramount in Huntington is 1,500 seats.
Right.
So they get different quality, different level of acts than a 500-seat venue might get. And we did do some, actually quite a few, and we worked with some outside promoters who brought in their shows. But we also, because, you know, you need to pay the bills, you need to pay the rent, we started putting in high-quality cover bands and tribute bands, which were very popular.
Yeah,
and,
that's always was a good one.
Yeah, and
Good draw.
they would pack the place, and the bar would crank, and we would make money and pay our bills, and people came and had a great time. But the pandemic kind of derailed that for me too. And after running it for 10 years, I decided, well, you know, I had bought out some of my partners, and I was the majority owner, but I said, it's time for me to go. And after the pandemic, and I opened it back up after the pandemic, which was made possible by a grant from Chuck Schumer and the senators. And it was a bipartisan bill. And we managed to pay everybody back. And then I sold it and then moved down the road. So.
But you still had Suffolk Studios open at that.
Yeah, I had that open. That closed last summer. The lease ran up, and we didn't really want to continue with that. So, and we couldn't really sell it. We sold off some of the equipment, and we just let the lease go, and we left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's how we got from there to here.
Yeah. COVID probably was a big reason for that, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, COVID. If COVID
Repercussions.
had not come along, I might not still have the studio, but I would still have 89 North.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it was in the black.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's hard work. It's hours.
I
But
bet.
it was doing good. We had we did private events, we did School of Rock shows, we did tribute band shows, we did benefits, we did a few weddings, we did anniversary parties. We did a little bit of everything, and it was a business plan that worked.
Yeah, it definitely worked. And
Yeah.
it's still working.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, if you live on Long Island, you can't help but know about 89
Yeah,
North.
89, the Paramount, Mulcahy's,
Yeah, something to be proud
all
of.
good venues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now tell us a little bit about what you're working on now.
Well, right now, I had there was a period of time up until about 2017 where I had written a lot of songs year after year, And, you write 10 songs to get one that's good. And sometimes you don't even know what's good until you record it. And it kind of hangs around for a while, and it either has legs or it doesn't, and I don't know if I ran out or I got dry or whatever, but I just took time off, and I haven't written anything until last year. I wrote the first song I wrote in 7 years, 8 years. So, but I play the ones that I wrote that people seem to like, and they seem to have longevity, and they adapt well to me just playing on the solo acoustic guitar. And sometimes I jam with a friend or two, a second acoustic guitar or something, and we'll do the songs. And we'll play open mics and other things. And some festivals, like I'm going to play Bradstock. Do you know the Bradstock Festival?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I've played that the last 2 years. I'm going to play it again this year in the acoustic tent. That's Labor Day weekend.
I'll have to stop down and see you.
Yeah, it's Saturday and Sunday. We're playing on Sunday. So, but yeah, that's pretty much right now, at 69 years old, nobody's banging on my door to make me a rock star. So you really play for your own pleasure.
Yeah, you enjoy it. It's a calling, I think.
Right.
Because those songs, they just pop out of you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a songwriter too, so that's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, no, sometimes a song writes itself in half an hour.
Yeah.
And sometimes you agonize over it for months, and you just keep changing words. And
it's funny, sometimes you have a song that you had for 20 years, and you're coming up with a new song, and all of a sudden it's like, it connects, and you have a second part of the same song. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's a great thing.
Yeah. So now what about the AV stuff? Are you still doing that?
Well, the AV business was my bread and butter in terms of earning a living. And we worked in the Hamptons a lot, a great deal, and worked in, big, expensive homes. We'd put speakers all over the house and put TVs in every room, speakers by the pool, a home theater in the basement. So I'm still doing some of that too.
Okay.
And that's an ongoing business, something I've done for a long time, going all the way back to 1978. So
if you're still taking on clients for that, give me some information and I'll post it at the end of the video so people could get in touch with you if you'd like.
Absolutely. Yep. I'll give you one of my cards here.
Great.
Yeah.
So now, is there any ways that we could help, that this video could help you advance what you going to be working on in the future, or some type of thing that we could talk about to leave your legacy, your Long Island legacy, to the people?
Well, like I said, my legacy is tied into 89 North Music Venue and whatever was produced at Suffolk Recording Studios. I don't know if you know Kerry Carney.
Yes.
Kerry made a couple of CDs there. Katie Perlman made a CD there. So there was Long Island artists who recorded there.
Yeah.
Because the room was so big, we used to also rent it out for rehearsals. Not a lot. We were very selective about that. But Blue Oyster Cult rehearsed there many times.
Oh, cool.
And so did Ritchie Blackmore with he had a reformed rainbow band. But he told me it was only for Europe. He wasn't going to play in America with that. But he rehearsed it here with these guys, and then they took it to Europe and played in Europe in the summer.
Oh, cool.
That was before the pandemic, though. Yeah. And but yeah, and then my solo stuff is all under Lonesome Dan and the Curmudgeons.
Is that a website or YouTube?
I had a website. I closed that down. It didn't seem worthwhile to pay for that. It's on Facebook. It's on CD Baby. As you know, with the internet, you punch in Lonesome Dan and the Curmudgeons in a search engine, and it'll pop up all over the place.
All right.
You know, they're selling my CDs on Amazon or God knows where. And, you know, I get a check for $28 about once a year, you know.
That's great. And then you could go out for ice cream.
Right, right, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I'd love to be able to help the artist with, is to make more money. And I'm hoping that by connecting people in the industry with each other, that can actually happen. You know, we've got a lot of really great people in Music Legacy that I'm talking to about doing mentoring and even just recording videos and stuff to help people advance their careers, or lessons and all of these type of things. So I hope that really can help the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that at the studio, and just to clarify, I owned the studio, but I'm not an engineer.
Right, right.
I could barely turn the stuff on.
Yeah.
You know, I had really good engineers who worked for me, who were very good. And when I recorded my own stuff, I had to pay one of them to work the board and everything. So, but there was some young bands would come in and ask advice and say, okay, yeah, we're here to make a CD. And they would ask advice, and I would say, well, you got 10 songs? Yeah. I said, okay, pick your best 5 and record those and spend more time on each one. Because it only takes one song to break an artist.
Yeah.
You know, and if you've got a really great song, do your best to record it. Listen to what other people say. You know, get other opinions. Listen to the engineer. You know, get other musicians in. Somebody's going to say, hey, it's great. It's too long. Cut a verse out.
Right.
You know, or, you know, this break right here with this solo, it's not, you know. I remind everybody, if you read the history, George Harrison was not happy with his guitar solo on While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and he asked Eric Clapton to come in and do it, and Clapton refused. He said, no, nobody plays on Beatle records, just Beatles, and Harrison insisted, and he dragged him into the studio, and Clapton did the guitar solo on While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which is lovely. You know,
Beautiful.
It's a great piece of music.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, there are a lot of producers in this world to bring the band in to record, and they start recording and they say, okay, stop. Your drummer's not good enough, guys. We got to get a better drummer in here.
Yeah.
You know.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, or some other instrument. So, yeah.
Or sometimes the whole band.
Sometimes the whole band. Well, that's the legacy of the 60s. And, you know, the Beach Boys, they wrote it, they sang, but they didn't play.
Yeah. A lot of people back then.
Yeah. Yeah, the Monkees, a lot of those acts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. You know, I'm gonna play the guitar and play songs and write new songs for as long as I can.
Excellent.
Yeah. So.
All right, good.
Yeah.
So just try and get me any kind of information that could send the viewers to your stuff, your YouTube channel, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel. There's CD Baby. There's a Facebook page for the Curmudgeons. I haven't posted anything on the Lonesome Dan and Curmudgeons Facebook in a long time. But did you ever watch any of the videos that Wes Houston does? Do you know Wes Houston?
Doesn't ring a bell.
He's older than I am. But he's a guitar player. He had a trio for many years. Actually lives in Queens, but he played all up and down Long Island. But he does a Channel 20 cable public access,
right,
a half-hour music show.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah, it's called Wes Houston Presents, and been doing it for years. And it's got a nice website, and every single one of his shows is archived. You want to look at one from 12 years ago? They're all there. I went in and did his show 5 years ago, maybe. I forget exactly when I did it. Solo acoustic. And it's a half-hour show, but you play your solo acoustic songs. It's a small studio. He's had the biggest band he's ever had in there is like a trio. Not a lot of people fit in there. And but it's a nice facility. It's in Floral Park. And he interviews you a little bit with information about yourself and so forth, and you play your original songs. It's slanted towards original artists only.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and he's been doing it for years, and I'll have to send you a link.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, but it's on a small scale, similar to what you're doing here.
Oh, all right, good.
Yeah.
Maybe I should talk to him because maybe we could do some
Yeah.
type of collaboration or something. That would be great.
Great guy, big music fan, good guitar player too. Yeah,
And that's another thing. If you know anybody that an interview like this would help their career, that's what we're doing this for, to help.
yeah. No, I
so.
have. Nice thing about music is it spans all ages, and cultural and so forth, and so and there's a young lady who I see playing around. She does the restaurant happy hour stuff, 6 to 8 in a restaurant, that sort of thing, or at a vineyard or something like that, solo acoustic, and she does all covers, but she is an original artist. She wrote and recorded originals, and she's got a CD out, and she's a personable young lady, and that would be somebody who she's got her stuff's on Spotify.
Yeah.
And
then when we do a video like this, it could be broken up into 100 different social media promos for them.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing it, to help them. They help them get their name out there.
And there's a promoter in he did a show for me the last Thursday of every month at 89. Younger guy in his 20s. He called his promotion company Planet of Sound, and
That
again,
sounds familiar.
strictly originals. His name is Maxwell Peters.
Oh,
And
he used to be at WUSB, I think, right?
that I don't know. I just know him as he brought his original, and he and I did all the booking at 89. So he and I made a deal for him to bring his show in, and when a promoter brings his show in, he pays us a rental, and he brings his own door person, collects his own door money,
Right.
whatever he charges to get in. He used to bring in, aside from the acts to perform, he used to bring in all these vendors who would sell like homemade jewelry and things like that,
Right.
Paintings and things like that. He was all about art and music, and he does it at other places besides 89 North. He's got this place up in Port Jeff he does it at, and he's very enthusiastic, and he's had, when you talk about young artists between like 18 and 30 years old, that's his niche. That's his pocket, and all different types of music, acoustic, solo, hard rock, punk.
Now that brings me into an area of music legacy that I just want to give you a little heads up about. Mm-hmm. We're doing something that's a little different than any of the other platforms that are out there, that I know of anyway. Mm-hmm. And what we do is, once you create your profile, there's a little menu in there, drop-down menu, that says email invites. And you could send something by just sending it to somebody's name and their email address, and they'll send them an invite to Music Legacy to sign in free. Mm-hmm. Once you do that, down the road, when we do monetize, right now we're talking to affiliate and possible partner connections to offer all different types of products and services, most relating to the music business, or things that can help an artist save money on what they're already using, stuff like that. Once we do monetize and that stuff starts happening, there's going to be like referral funding that's going to come in. And what Music Legacy does is, we're not just going to stick the money in our pockets. It's going to go into a fund. And then anyone who's active in the community, posting on the timeline, connecting with other artists, inviting other people into the platform, all these different things are going to create points, just like when you use your credit card. And then those points will be able to be converted into dollars down the road to help either advance their career. You know, if it's somebody who's just starting out, maybe it's enough for a cup of coffee or a set of strings or whatever. But if it's a band that's active and doing stuff, it could turn into new equipment. You know, maybe a new microphone or maybe new musical instrument, whatever. But eventually, all this funding will be available to the people who are active in the community. So we're excited about that, and we've got a lot of great people working with us. I think right now we're up to like 5 music business attorneys that are in the community with us. One of them I just recently did an interview with. He's offered counseling to the Music Legacy members, you know, if they have a question about something. And he's even going to start doing some videos that we'll provide on the platform to help educate artists about the legal issues that musicians could face. So things like that. So anybody that you know that could benefit from something that we're doing, please just let them know and make sure we know that they came from you so that we can keep you in mind for that.
Happy to. I'll, you know, aside from the first person I mentioned to you, there's some other original artists, all ages too. You know, there's a music, a songwriting contest that's held in England that they have a website and they're international. You know, it doesn't matter where you live, you can enter it. But it's called Talent is Timeless. And there's only one requirement. You have to be over 50. You can't enter it unless you're over 50.
Really?
And their idea, whoever came up with it to start with, is it doesn't matter what age you are, you can write a great song. You know, and you can play it. And that's what their whole contest was you're over 50, you know, whatever genre you're working in, doesn't matter, send it in, and we're going to judge it, and we're going to have this contest once a year, which is, to me, is a great concept because talent is timeless. You know.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. You know, if you see a Picasso or a great painting somewhere, you don't ask how old the artist was.
How old was he? Yeah.
Right. You say it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, was he 19 or was he 89?
Yeah.
You know, so you know, for the packages that the record companies put together, the Taylor Swift, and I'm not saying she doesn't have talent. That's not the point. The point is they're selling an image and a video and a TV image, you know, a YouTube image, whatnot. You know, if you're a 59-year-old grandmother, they can't package you and sell you your image. You know.
Yeah.
But if you sing well and you wrote a great song, well, how do we?
There's possibility.
Right. How do we get that out? How do we get people to listen to that?
Yeah.
You know.
One of the things I always tell people is, you know, maybe once in your life you wrote a poem in high school, and it's sitting in a drawer somewhere. Post it on Music Legacy, and who knows, maybe the band that's one of your favorite bands sees the lyrics and says, hey, that'll go good on that new song that we were just working on.
Yeah.
You never know. Stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, is connecting the right people with each other, what they need to advance. And that's the key to what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we appreciate you sharing your
no problem.
your legacy with us.
Yeah, when it comes to music.
Music Legacy International.